Hey, y'all. Welcome to an all-new episode of Unabashedly Speaking with me, Alisa Plessy. We're going to talk about Beyonce and these ticket prices, as well as Brandi Sturdivant and what's going on with her and her neglect case, and more after this. All right, we are back. What's going on, y'all? How you doing, Mimi?
I'm doing well, love. How are you?
I'm great. And Alisa, welcome to our podcast. I would just like to introduce y'all to Alisa. Alisa happens to be one of my clients who became a new sister of mine. She suggested some topics that we should talk about and decided, hey, why not just go ahead and come on and be a guest? Because that's what we do here at Unabashedly Speaking with Mimi and Mashonda. And you got something you want us to talk about, feel free to reach out, let us know. And you might too be a guest on the show. So how you doing tonight, Alisa?
I'm doing well tonight. Everything is good. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, we here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where you from?
Well, like you said, my name is Alisa Plessy. I am from New Orleans, Louisiana. I still live in Louisiana, not in New Orleans though, but I'm still a Louisiana girl.
Okay. All right. And so you've been watching our show?
Yes.
And the other day you told me that you wanted to talk about some things. Why don't you go ahead and tell the people what you were telling me you wanted to talk about?
Well, the first thing I really wanted to talk about was spirituality and how powerful we as a people can be as a group and as individuals. That spirituality is not evil, it's about you. Voodoo was here before the Bible, and it's about you and your ancestries. And your ancestors and how you should follow them and how you should learn about them. Because we're very powerful beings. We're very powerful. We're so powerful that when we march, they get armies out for us. They know how powerful they are. What I want you to do is know that for yourself as well.
I hear that. That's most definitely true. Especially with all the things that they do in society to get people to believe that they have no power, that the government and the man and all these people that are controlled are the only things that are in power. Everything that they do is to make us forget who we are. So that is definitely something that is very needed today. And more people are waking up. I do have to say more and more people are waking up. The only problem for me is I feel like a lot of people are just jumping on this bandwagon thinking it's like a fad. You know, they talk about they want to be about spirituality, but they really don't want to be about that life. They're not really about that life, you know. As soon as you tell them, you know, something about their spirit guides or their spirit guides want them to do this, it's like, oh, okay, yeah. You know, they don't mind taking what the spirit guides do for them, but they don't really want to do the work to connect with the universe, connect with the Most High and their spirit guides. And that's the shame, because it's really needed right now. I mean, they've been calling us for a while.
Yeah, it's definitely needed, and the shift has changed, and I agree with you 100%. More and more people will begin to see change, because your upper hand people, which I mean by your government, they're doing everything they can to keep you dumb down.
Yes.
This is what they want. Even from the weather, people don't understand how powerful your sun is. You know, so they're doing everything in their power, which they have done since the beginning of time, which is lie to you, which is take the black man out the home, you know, which they have done a lot of things. They don't teach you about yourselves. You get 1 month out the year for you to figure out what's wrong and what's right.
Exactly.
Because what they teach you and what they teach our kids is lies.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And we have to be the ones as parents and as Black people to look up your history because it's there. They're not going to tell you that it's there. And so for us, for me, to watch my brothers kill each other is because of the lack of knowledge of who they are.
Right. I mean, in school, they don't tell the young people that we are kings and queens and rulers and we are rich. All they want to show is slavery. And so they feel that they can't aspire to be more than that. And that is a form of control. That is a form of mind control. And it really, unfortunately, it works, and it's a perpetuated cycle that we really need to break. And it's very sad because, like they say, they call it Black history, but it is his story. It's not the truth, though. It's not what really went down.
And you have to understand who the Alpha and the Omega is, and it begins with us.
Exactly. Because
the first person to walk this earth was a woman. And once you learn your facts and learn that everything that they took from us came from Kemet. Yeah, from math to agriculture, to our science, everything they took and they twisted it around on us. And that's part of the reason why you don't know who you are. And that's why they don't want you to know. People like us, people like me are a threat.
Yes.
Because it's people like me who do those spells and do the works to keep things in line and in order.
Exactly.
And so, that's what my message is that that we can come together, and because when we're together, and that's the problem I hate to say with our people, we don't come together. If we could come together, we would be a powerful movement that they could not stop.
Yes.
And that's their fear. That's their fear. Understand that you have to look up Bill Gates. You have to hear the things that this man is saying.
Trust.
And so he wants to depopulate. He's not trying to depopulate. You have to understand your government creates a chaos to get order.
And what makes it so bad is like they telling you right to your face, but people still they'll be like, what? And just keep moving to the next distraction because they keep you distracted. So you just
get distracted.
Have you ever seen the Suicide Squad?
I heard of it. No, I never
They
saw
were
it.
sitting at the table in that movie, The Suicide Squad, and they was talking about these special beings, these gifted beings. And they were like, well, we putting fluoride in their water, we doing this, and they still waking up and stuff like that. I'm like, dang, they tell you right to your face what they doing to us. We are the mutants. We are these elevated superheroes.
You've been trying to kill us since the beginning of time.
Yes.
And it still won't work.
That part, yes.
For some reason, they think that if they put us through all this, that we're not survivable. There's an old saying, you might win the battle, but you will not win this war.
Yes.
Coming at us, and we leave this planet when it's time to leave this planet. Only the Creator knows because He gives life and He take it away. So I'm not going to leave it for my time no matter what you throw at me.
Right.
No matter what you throw at me. We're not leaving.
Exactly.
We're not leaving. So they, and when you become spiritual, you know that onions are a very powerful thing. I'll use what?
Yes.
Onion
water, put onions in your room, it clears the air. So many
things. It even helps with radiation. So you really got to study. You really got to study and get it. And so when people say they're spiritual and they don't know half the things that I know, then it tells me what you really about.
Right. Let's talk about that. So yes, they somewhere and I believe some part of Asia. Don't like if I'm wrong, don't come for me. But they had a bunch of nuclear weapons and things like that, and there was this radiation leak. And they got a whole bunch of onions, so many onions, the country done ran out of onions to absorb. But the onions were able to absorb all the radiation coming from their nuclear weapons and things like that. So imagine what the onions can do in your household while you breathe in that same recycled air. That's another thing. Breathing that recycled death, okay? You need to go outside and breathe some fresh air, but that's for another day. But just imagine what's an onion in your room would do if it can absorb radiation. But this is not
Right.
this is the stuff they don't tell you. They don't want you to know all that.
And stuff I want people to know, and I want people to understand that there are cures for every disease, and it's so natural.
Yes.
It's not even
every single thing.
Especially when it comes to black people, we get it 10 times worse. And then on top of that, the chemicals that they're pouring in your body, and not only do you suffer, then you leave this earth. And so there are very natural ways that the Father, that God, has left for us that we can use. And the system doesn't tell you about, healing yourself naturally. That cancer can be cured. HIV can be cured. Because I know that when we begin to talk about these things, our prophets and our teachers begin to leave this earth because they don't want that truth out.
That's definitely.
And I just want people to know that believe in yourself. Even the Bible is very metaphysical to me. So when the Bible tells you, know thyself, the kingdom of heaven is in you, believe me, it is. Yeah. Everything you have is within you.
Like Erykah Badu said, if we were made in his image, then call us by our name.
Call us by our name.
You know what I'm saying? And not just that, like you were starting to say, like the mind is so powerful, but this society has got people believing that they can only manifest negative things in their life, that only negative things can happen. But just think about it. If a woman could believe she's pregnant and want to be pregnant, all of a sudden she stopped having her period, her belly gets big, and she has a pseudo pregnancy, your mind did that. If there's such kind of condition called hypochondria, where a person can be so paranoid they think they have this disease and they get every symptom of that disease. They think they have this now and they get every symptom. If your mind can make you sick, then why can't your mind make you better? Why do you only believe that bad things can happen? Your mind is very powerful. You need to start manifesting the things that you want in this life and refuse to allow yourself to think about the things you don't want. Even to the point of sickness. Stop saying I'm sick. Stop claiming illness. Stop saying my diabetes or my high blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? Because now you are putting that into your head that you own that. You don't own that. You need to redirect these thoughts. We are so powerful, y'all.
Absolutely, and what I want people to know is words are very powerful.
Yes, words are spells.
You have to be careful the words that you speak. I am rich. I might not have a penny to my name, but I'm rich.
Yes,
I got a sore throat, but I'm well.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You have to start speaking. You have to start speaking things into your life as you have them, because you will have them. Yes. Keep speaking it. Keep talking good things. Even your child is not a failure. Your child is a God. Your child is success.
Yes.
Speak those things into his life. Speak those things over your children. Speak those things over your husband. Speak those things over yourself. And watch how your life change.
And not only that, but when you go to your Most High God and your spirit guides, don't sit there begging and pleading and please can this happen. You say, thank you, God, for this money you about to bring me. Because when you sitting there begging, it's almost like you doubt that it can happen. You doubt that the God can give it to you. Instead, be like, thank you. I know you're going to make it come through. Thank you. Thank you. Because you have faith that they're going to do it for you. So act like you already got it coming. Don't sit there and beg, please let it happen. Please, please, please. Yeah. And then, just be grateful when it does.
Yeah. You do. You really do. Words are powerful. Words are spells. So remember that. Before you let certain things out your mouth. Think before sometimes you speak. Because those words carry a lot of power. And when certain things happen, you wonder why. Because you put them in the universe. Exactly. The universe responds to your vibration. That's what it responds to.
Right.
So when your vibration is low, that's what you get low. But if I speak high and I raise myself up and I raise my vibration up, that's what the universe responds to.
Exactly. Energy is currency. You know what I'm saying? Mimi, you were saying before that you wanted to ask a little questions about Louisiana and the culture and the energy there.
Yes. So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed a big change within spirituality amongst your area since Hurricane Katrina?
As far as how New Orleans is now, I would say yes.
Like, has there been an energy shift? Did it pull things up and awaken things?
It pulled things down. And it's up to people like me to try to break off, when you have spells on top of spells. New Orleans is such a very spiritual city.
Yes.
You're talking about a city who had slaves and free people, and we talked about Mama LaBeau, and they would go to a place called Congo Square where they would play the drums and they would conjure up the spirits and different things like that. I personally, in my opinion, believe because Louisiana, New Orleans is a pretty much an all-black city, that definitely curses has been put on it to make it not be what it could be and what it should be.
Mm-hmm. So you feel that the land is cursed?
Yes. Yes. And it's people like me and others who go down to the rivers and give offerings and give things to kind of mellow it out. Mm-hmm. But this is what I mean by sticking together. If we can get together and go there, there's so much more power that we can have. There's only so much power and so many things that one or two people can do, But collectively, if we went to New Orleans and went by that river and did our job and do what we're supposed to do, New Orleans would get a lot better response from the spiritual world. Because like I said, New Orleans is spells on top of spells on top of spells. It's so many chains that need to be broken that you have to come together collectively to break them up.
What place do you consider the most sacred place in New Orleans?
I would say Congo Square. Because when the slaves as well as free black people went there and they were able to play the drums and conjure up the ancestors. That is a place you want to visit, and that is a place you want to leave offerings to, because that's where they went. That's where they went, and they did their thing there. And it was allowed to happen. One of the things about Mama LaBeau was she went into the St. Louis Cathedral, which was Catholic, and she began to do rituals in the church. And she would help a lot of people because she was a very good healer. So she helped people with yellow fever, people who were sick. And she brought rituals into the church, which was very unusual. But I think his name is Perry Antone. He began, I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but he was the priest over it at the time, and he allowed her to come in and do those things. And so if you pay attention to biblically, and if you pay attention to the Catholic, they pretty much do the same thing. You're just not realizing that you're practicing voodoo. Mm-hmm. But that's what you're doing. When you do the smudging and you do the candles and you give the money as an offering to light the candle, you are doing voodoo.
Exactly.
You are doing voodoo, and you don't even realize what you're doing because you're being programmed to look at a picture of who they feel you should worship.
Thank you. That's what I've been trying to tell them.
You're looking at an image, but understand, if you have knowledge of yourself, you're not going to tell me that physically, we as black people were the first to walk this earth and then give me a white image of a man and say, worship him. See, there are many things in that Bible that I look at and that I have read that tells me this is not a source of moral code. Mm-hmm. So when I read the Bible, I have to look at it metaphysically.
Right. Right.
I want to look at it like that. Because when they talk about people flying in the air, and this rapture, they're talking about elevation. The elevation of your soul. Mm-hmm. Yeah. These are some of the things that, that pastors don't tell you about. And
so, they're not going to tell you either.
No.
But we could go on a whole nother hour about that. But we do need to take a break. I so appreciate your thoughts. Thank you for being here. We're gonna have some more from Alisa throughout this live. But first, we're gonna take a little commercial break, and when we come back, Beyonce breaking people's pockets. But my girl Mimi said, "You ain't gonna break my soul though." When we get back.
Incredible change happens in life when you decide to take control of what you do have power over instead of worrying about what you don't. House of Healing Hands. Take control. Gain back your power.
And we are back with Unabashedly Speaking with Mimi and Rashonda. So Beyonce FedEx tickets are starting at nearly $1,000 to $13,000 per ticket. They had an auction last night at the gala, and I heard people was paying up to $50,000, and they bought $150,000 in the first night, and they ain't even no tickets yet. Now, what's really going on now? What's really going on, Mimi? This your girl. Tell us what's going on.
I am saddened by this, along with other people. I mean, Beyonce, she is a great performer. However, I don't understand the logic of these ticket prices. I don't. Not only I've seen some prices in my area alone, I've seen maybe the highest one was 15,000 so far that I've seen. And I've noticed that as the days continue, the prices are going up. Why would you have them? You have such a great following, and you already have a lot of money. So why do they have to be that expensive? And then you release the tickets at the beginning of the month when rent is due, college tuition is due.
Because she don't care about her. She don't care about her fans like she act like she do. She fake. To be honest with you, even my mama, like years ago, would be like, she seems a little pretentious to me because that energy is not right. And I know you like Bay and y'all Bay High people might be coming for me, but come on, how she care about you when she has tickets selling for more than your rent for like a whole year, couple of months, all right? She wants y'all to go broke. And just imagine the stuff that people gonna do to get this damn ticket. Like, there was jokes. A lot of people are going into social media talking about having to sell a kidney and stuff like that. And I'm even seeing people complaining that the website, when the tickets went on sale officially online, crashed because even at these prices, so many people are actually buying these tickets. They're spending their whole life savings to go see Beyonce in concert. Like, what?
Income tax check on Beyonce's tickets. Like, forget the kids, forget what they need, forget the household, forget medication, forget everything, and let's get these tickets.
This is crazy to me.
They're in a trance. You have to be in some type of trance to spend that amount of money.
I don't know if you really want to go there, but we all know that Beyonce may be putting spell on people. I don't know. She's a bona fide witch, but that's a whole nother conversation. But realistically, that's people are in a trance. People are this herd like cultivism sheep mentality. These people in her little bayhive ready to kill people just because they said something negative about her, threatening people. This is sickening. This is sickening.
They go all out for her.
They do, but I just don't understand. It's like, okay, you always talk about being so for the people. Why in the world do you feel like, where do you get the audacity and the freaking like, because I know that everybody in this culture is making her feel like she's a damn god, but really, does she really think she a damn god? Like, how's she gonna sit here and act like she the next coming of Christ and all that shit? She the next coming of Oshun because she thinks she's Oshun the goddess. You know what I mean? She act like she probably got people believing she's a manifestation of Oshun for real. And they worship her like she's a damn deity. But like, wow. Like, wow. Alisa, come on, girl. I know.
Yeah, she's definitely a magician because she's making y'all money disappear. She's got talent on that, but she definitely is not somebody you should really want to, because in my opinion, like you said, she is definitely a witch, and she is not a good one. She's not a good one at all. And by people's reaction and the things that I've heard you say, that's very obvious to me, because. But if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But understand, you're just getting more and more spells put on you.
I feel like it's a whole ritual, to be honest. I feel like there's something really deep going on. This is like some sort of, offering or something like that. I feel like this is a whole ritual, and there's a reason why the prices are like that. And I don't think it's anything that anybody is really thinking it is. But
yeah. It's definitely a ritual, but you can't make people see what they don't want to see.
Of course
so,
not.
At the end of the day, if that's what you want to waste your money on, there's plenty of other things I could do with $1,000.
But let's not. Yeah, definitely. But we don't even need to get that deep. Let's just keep it on an earthly lower level right now. What in the world? Okay, like, why would anybody spend that much money to watch somebody in concert? Like, I would never, rest in paradise. My favorite man, his picture right here on my wall. I love him so much that I can't even think about his death because it makes me cry. He came out the year I was born, my boy Prince. I almost want to cry right now, okay? That's how much I love Prince, okay? I would never have paid no $13,000 to see him live in concert.
Never. He would have never paid for 13. He would have never asked for 13.
He sure the hell wouldn't. He sure the hell wouldn't. He had a whole fan club. And he did everything on his own. He owned all his own stuff. And if you had a membership to his fan club, he gave you the front row seats for very, very cheap. And he used to bring people up on stage and things like that. He was very humble soul. But this is like, I don't see how people don't look at her like sideways. Like, what? What?
That's the spell that's put out. That's the spell. That's what it is. I mean, you can't even lower level that, because it is what it is. I can't even lower.
I'm trying to put it in a way that those people he like spell. What the hell they talk about? Come on, like realistically, there's no way you can justify this. And what's so bad is people ain't even thinking twice about it. They ain't even being. I'm not. I'm seeing more complaints about the fact that the website crashed when they were trying to buy the tickets than the fact that the ticket prices was that high to begin with. You even got celebrities bidding, like, what?
The lowest price I've seen is $790. I haven't seen anything lower than that.
And that's probably the nosebleed seats or the waiting list. That's just to get on the waiting list in case somebody don't show up, you might get that seat.
Now look. $700. I want a personal dinner date or something. I want to see you. Just pick me a song or something. You gonna cook for me or something? Let me see how you cook.
That's ridiculous. It's very sad. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about this subject? Me.
Yeah, I just hope that when entertainers have shows like this and they charge that much, that they're giving it back. Give it back. I mean, because people are charging their prices are ridiculous. And Flint still does not have clean water. It's still work to be done.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's still children starving all over the world. I know if you've got a pot, and if all these entertainers put $500 in it, and be devoted as how they're devoted to these tickets, we'd have more homeless shelters. We wouldn't have to worry about all these people out on the street in the cold freezing.
Sure, I mean, realistically, how many people in the Michigan area that probably trying to get Beyonce tickets and not putting it into their own community? Like, realistically. I mean, because if there's that many people out there who got the money to pay to buy a damn $13,000 ticket, then it's a lot more than just the celebrities who need to be paying it forward. You know, and that goes back to what you were saying before. We don't work together as a community. We don't come together as a community, you know, and a lot of this is what they have done to us and the programming they have done. But we need to, you know, we need to come out of this. You know, it's not just her putting spells on people. You know, we need to come out from under this spell that society, the powers that be, has got us under, where there is no brotherhood in the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? There is no sisterhood in the sisterhood. And it's very sad. It's very sad. Oh my God. And speaking of a sad story, we have to change the topic a little bit. I need to talk about Brandy Sturdivant. Brandy Sturdivant was recently charged with felony abuse, 3 counts of felony abuse, because about a month ago, she, well, let me just go ahead and play the clip. The mother of 3 young children who died in the North Carolina house fire last month has been charged with child abuse related to the blaze, according to authorities. Brandy Sturdivant, age 18, was in Greensboro Detention Center on Saturday on a $150,000 bond after being accused Friday of 3 felony abuse counts. According to jail records, a warrant accuses Sturdivant of leaving her 4-year-old son and 1-year-old twin boys alone at a Greensboro home before it caught on fire December 12th. The causes of the fire and the deaths remain under investigation. Greensboro police spokeswoman said it wasn't immediately known if Sturdivant has an attorney. Sturdivant said previously she was outside the home when the fire began, but later said she barely made it out. Sturdivant was arrested November 1st on misdemeanor charges of contributing to the delinquency of a child related to an investigation into home conditions observed in September. So she has now been charged for 3 felony counts of child abuse, and this is still an ongoing investigation. And I'm assuming when they say it's an ongoing investigation because they're also trying to find out, was it, because you try to say that she tried to go back and help the children. After first she wasn't there, then she came back and tried to help them, but it was too late. So they don't know, you know, they're investigating that. But I think what they're not saying is they're trying to see if she did it on purpose. You know, if she lit the fire, if she killed them babies, because that my heart just feels like something is, other than the fact that she left the babies alone, something else don't seem right about that situation. They also said that there were other children living there before, but luckily, I mean, it's still not a lucky situation, but luckily they were not staying there at the time. This is a very horrible situation, and unfortunately, it's not unique. You know, it's not unique, the neglect, the abuse that kids are going through. There's so many horrible stories that we are hearing. Maybe you want to take it?
I just think that as a parent, guardian, what have you, if it's a fire going on, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure my babies are out. I'll burn, but I'm going to try to get my babies out. So I think that she did it on purpose.
Well, not just that, like everybody says she wasn't even there. She wasn't even there, so, or she had left. So I either think that she did it or she left them babies alone and something happened. But it's just, my soul feels like she did it, you know?
Okay, so and 2 twins, 2 1-year-old twins.
2 1-year-old twins and a 4-year-old, so three babies.
She very well could have set the fire, small flaming fire, and left.
Right. Right.
I mean, look at her. She looks like she's possessed.
Yeah.
If you look at her. Like,
and this is, like I said, this is a situation that needs to stop. Like, if you don't want your babies no more, give them up for adoption. Give them to somebody else who wants a child. Don't sit here and do this evil stuff to these children or neglect them or not. Why do you even have them if you don't want to take care of them? There are people who cannot have children in this world who would gladly take that child, especially babies. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, even if they don't get adopted, they better off in the system, even though the system is a horrible place. It's better off than being with a neglectful parent who might end up killing the babies. And some of these stories that you are hearing about what happens to some of these abused children, these giving them away for people to do horrible things to them, and they are dying in the worst ways. And it is just so sad. It is so sad because not only is it an evil act, but it's just not even necessary. You don't have to keep them if you don't. I mean, you should have never had them to begin with. You know, get on some birth control or something. But there are other options. You know, but yeah. So she was charged with 3 felony charges. And if she did kill these babies, I hope that the evidence comes out and that she gets what she truly deserves and she doesn't get away with this. And, you know, if there's anybody in the world, because one thing I did hear is neighbors after the fact were telling the cops how the mom leaves the kids alone all the time. So don't wait until it's too late to be telling the authorities or people that the children are being abused and neglected. I know in this day and age, we don't want to tell the cops things and we don't want to get enforcement involved, but look what happens when we speak up too late. Those kids didn't have to die, especially like that. Those kids did not have to die.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't read any article or hear anything about the father or fathers.
No, no, I did not hear anybody coming out, speaking on it. I don't know if it's just still, I mean, it's been a month since the incident happened, but just the other days when she got charged. So, but no. Everything is about the incident, but there's not a lot going on. It's not, maybe there's just not enough publicity around the situation, but yeah, no, I haven't heard anything about any fathers.
And that's a problem right there within itself.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Okay, well, we are going to take another break and we will be right back.
Yesterday the sky was gray, but now I see such a beautiful place.
All right, y'all, we are back. And in honor of Black History Month, we wanted to bring up some historical figures that have changed things for the culture throughout the month. Every episode, we're going to be talking about some new people. And tonight we have Rosa Parks and Claudette Colvin. I'm going to let you take it, sis.
Okay, first let's talk about the Queen, Claudette Colvin. Claudette Colvin was born September the 5th, 1939. She's an American pioneer of the 1950s civil rights movement and also a retired nurse aide. On March the 2nd, 1955, she was arrested at the age of 15 in Montgomery, Alabama. She was arrested because she refused to give up her seat to a white woman. Now, this incident happened prior to Miss Rosa Parks' incident. So it happened first with Claudette. So when they arrested her, you know, she was adamant, I didn't get up, and I wasn't going to get up, and I'm never going to get up out of my seat for a white person. Why do they feel as though they're entitled to have this seat, and I can't? So, moving forward, she became this amazing advocate for women's rights. Now, back in 1955, she also started the Montgomery County, that's near me, Montgomery West boycott. So with that boycott, a lot of people joined the boycott. I mean, it was horrible because she was getting, her land was getting set on fire, like her parents' land. They were setting it on fire. You know, of course, they were putting the crosses and everything that the KKK does. They really made it difficult for her. Like, she couldn't go to school. She couldn't do any of that because they really, really were after, you know, her family. They really wanted to kill her because they felt like she really disrespected this white lady. And she lived for a very, very long time, and she would just go around different places and, you know, speak on it. So when, let's see, her record did not get expunged until 2021, pardon. So that was 66 years.
Wow.
66 years for her record to get expunged from being arrested at the age of 15. Now that's not normal. 66 years?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Not getting up for a white woman.
For not giving up 60, that's a whole lifetime.
It affected her a lot because she was certain jobs she couldn't get because of her record. So I'm just glad that she was able to, you know, eventually get it expunged before she, you know, passed away.
At least she didn't die oh man. But still, like, I'm trying to see the good in it, but that's still like 66 years just to come out and be at the end of life.
But luckily, you know, she's still, you know, here with us. She's 83 years old.
Okay.
So,
well, she's definitely seen a lot. I mean, a lot of changes. She's been through every, thing that you can think of from back in that time. You said the 20-something?
yeah, it was, let me go back. It happened in 1955.
1955, okay. Okay, yeah.
She was 50, and, you know, so she was there to be able to be an advocate
but in
for
55, but it still took 66 years?
66 years. It was 2021 when her record got expunged.
That don't even make no sense. That don't even make no sense because with all the things that have changed throughout the years, you would have thought somebody would have been like, oh, let me throw this out the door. Like, that don't even make no sense. She must have got like lost in the cracks somewhere or somebody, overlooked it. You know what I mean? Because she should have been out. She should have had that expunged a long time ago.
Montgomery's black leaders didn't publicize her pioneering efforts. Like, she was overlooked. And they said, people think that Miss Parks was the first person that it happened to and that she ended segregation, but that wasn't the case at all. Colvin's case was dropped by the civil rights. They dropped it. They didn't want to, because for one, she wasn't married and she also was pregnant at the time. So they didn't think this black lady, unmarried, pregnant black woman.
Right.
So she was overlooked. And then, a month later, then that's when, I think it was like maybe about 9 months later, that's when Rosa Parks had her situation. But then Miss Claudette was still overlooked, because everybody took it as Rosa Parks. This happened to her. She was the first person, the only person, at that time, because Miss Claudette's wasn't publicized.
Right.
And I wouldn't have known about it had I not, bought the book that I bought for my daughter.
Right.
I wouldn't have known about who she was. I didn't know. I bought a book called Women in Black History Month. But I didn't know. I had never heard of her. I sure didn't learn about her in school. I don't know if you all had heard about her.
I never heard about her till you told me, to be honest. But with that being said, I mean, even though she got all the credit, we still want to go ahead. And to those of you who don't know about Miss Rosa Parks, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about her as well?
Miss Rosa Parks was born February the 4th, 1913. She's also an American activist in the civil rights movement that's known for her pivotal role in the Montgomery bus boycott. So, the United States Congress honored her. They honored her as the First Lady of Civil Rights, the mother of the freedom movement. Now, like Ms. Colvin said, they overlooked her and swayed, towards Miss Parks and honored her. They honored her. They just ignored Miss Colvin because she was pregnant at the time of her court case. And she was unmarried. So Miss Rosa, she often had meetings with Miss Colvin, and they compared, their situations to each other. And, she wanted to uplift her to let her know that I'm right here with you, Queen. We can join forces and do this together. Miss Rosa Parks, she transitioned on October 24th, 2005, at the age of 92 in Detroit, Michigan.
So both of those women have seen a lot of changes in history. I mean, to be one of those people and to see how far we come along, that has to be, a victory for them. You know what I mean? Like, in their eyes, even though they endured so much, at least they lived to see what the domino effect, what they went through, how it's changed. And especially when President Obama was in office, that was a big victory, and just everything now. And even though we still have different kind of struggles, I mean, we still getting hunted down, just, it's a different kind of mob nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, the mob tends to wear blue, but they ain't all bad. We ain't gonna say that. But it's not good, but it is a lot better. We've definitely come a long way, and these two women are a big part in that. So we like to
the difference is to this day, children always migrate to the back of the bus. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, but I feel like that's because the back of the bus is cooler because it's away from the bus driver and they want to be bad. They trying to be bad in the back of the bus.
And it's like everybody runs to the back of the bus. Everybody wants to be in the back of the bus. But I'm just glad that we have such strong women that share their stories with us so that we can share them with our children and the men as well. I'm just glad we have those strong Black leaders, because if they didn't share their stories, we wouldn't know about it, because a lot of their stories is not in the history books at all, and I doubt that it ever will be. But we can be hopeful, I hope and pray that it will, but as of now, it still has yet to be placed in textbooks.
Right. I mean, and that goes back to the beginning of this podcast. There's a lot of things that they leave out of the books, and just as much as this kind of story is needed, we also need to see those kings and queens and deities and all these people of power that didn't go through things like this, you know what I'm saying, to show that we were not just slaves. We were not just this. You know what I mean? We are kings and queens. And there's still kings and queens to this day in other parts of the world. They always want to tell you that Africa is poor. They only want to show you the poor, struggling parts of Africa. Africa has got money, okay? It's a whole continent, and a lot of Africa is very rich. But they're not going to show you your people in their royal garments and how they be dressing out, and they be in all their colors and from head to toe looking like royalty. They just going to show you the starving children because they want you to think that black people can never be more than that. But there's a lot of rich, wealthy parts of Africa. Don't even get it twisted, you know, but it's all a part of their control to keep us down and keep us thinking that we are lesser than they are. Oh, wow. This was a really good episode, and it was really a pleasure having you here with us today, Alisa. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here tonight?
Just basically, I kind of touch on what you say. It's kind of the same candy, but in a different wrapper.
Yes.
You know, the things that they're doing to us, and that's why I say we need to have more of us being together and being on the same page so that things can be done. Also, you know, as being a black person, even though I know I don't look it,
some people don't think I look it either, okay?
but understand that we have to have a signature every few years just to have the right to vote. And we built this country. We built this country. On the backs of our ancestors built this country. And that needs to change. See, the things that, you know, the NAACP has become very commercial now. You know, we used to fight back in the day. And it didn't matter if it meant our death, if it meant we were there, but we fought. We don't have that same kind of pride of spirit anymore. We just become complacent, and that's the problem. We should never be complacent. We are the beginning of this. We are the end of it. In the middle, we should stand up for what is right. So you have to start holding your congressman, you know, more accountable. We should not have a right to be signed to vote. We should have that right. We were here. We were here. So, that's pretty much all. So I hope that, you know, people will receive this in the way that I'm coming, which is a love for my people. And it's not that I don't love anybody else, but I have a love for my people. And I want to see us win and not be so complacent and learn where our battle should be to be, you know, fought with them.
And again, Alisa came and she wanted to talk about some things. She suggested the topics and she became a guest. You can too. Our info is right over there. Make sure you follow us if you want to contact us. If there's anything that you want us to talk about, or if you too want to be a guest. Now, I'm not going to say everybody, because if somebody comes with some just nastiness and you just ain't, you know, we gonna scream, y'all. We ain't gonna just be like everybody just come up here talking about killing people now this and negative things now. So, but you do have a chance, a big chance, that because we don't want to discriminate. We don't want to leave anybody out. But of course, if it's just something that's really disrespectful to some people, or y'all should know what I'm talking about right now. I shouldn't have to explain it to you. But other than that, reach out to us. If you are, you know, dealing with depression, dealing with any sort of abuse or any sort of situation in your life where you need someone to talk to or you need to get help, we might not be the ones who, you know, can talk to you about it, but we will get the resources that you need to find somebody to talk to, and we definitely will do everything that we can to help you. Mimi?
I would like to say thank you all for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And remember to be kind, be loving, be respectful. And if there's someone out there that you see that's in need and you can help them, please help them. It doesn't always have to be materialistic things. Like I said, it could just be a hug, smile, handshake, pat on the back. Just be kind, because you never know what the next person is going through. With that being said, everyone have a good night, be safe, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Good night, y'all.